remind everyone that Alan here is our guest, and we're here having him here to share some of the movement that's going here in Big Bear. And we talked a couple months ago about local politics and how important it is. We have a lot of focus right now on Jared Marshall and the congressional campaign, but Alan talked to me about local politics and how that's really the basis of our democratic society. And so I asked him to come talk to us about that, and I'm sure he's going to give us his ideas and share with us how we can help. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
Good evening. I said good evening. Give me some feedback. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Let me say from the very beginning, this is a private meeting, not a public forum. And let me be clear, be crystal clear. Nobody has permission to record my remarks. And if you do so, you do at your own peril. There's going to be a lot of things. I'm going to ask you, Patricia, not to record me specifically. If you would put down your recording, you do not have my permission to record me.
You're a public official, and I
This is a
have
private
permission.
meeting, ma'am. You do not have my permission to record me.
Keep going.
What's that?
Keep going.
Well, let me say this. One of the things I wanted to talk about. Okay, let me say thank you to some very familiar faces. Thank you, Annie, for her activism. She walks like she talks. She's a genuine activist. You do talk about, that's okay, tell me the same thing. And she, I was very delighted to host a card at my home. Many of you have been to my home, and I've been to many of your homes. These are some trying times in Big Bear Lake. These are some trying times in our community. But they're trying times because good people are turning the tide. And let me be clear, my message is black, white, and brown. My message is conservative and liberal. My message is both Republican, Democrat, and everything in between. Because in the final analysis, we're all Americans. I am a Democrat, a proud Democrat, and I appreciate Steve's invitation to be a guest speaker. I will tell you that I've been a guest at the Republican Party. I've been a guest at the Patriot Party here in Big Bear Lake. So my message is consistent wherever I go. And I believe the message of this club is on the right side of the issues. Let me say there are some evil people on the other side that's more strategic, more ruthless, more scandalous in what they do. They will parachute into your house to cause disruption. But when I was at the Republican Party meeting, there was no Democrats trying to come in, no naysayers, fault finders, and excuse my French, shit starters. They were there talking about how they uplift the community from their perspective. Wasn't there trying to drive nobody down. But I gotta tell you, hate is a powerful tool. Hate got people here tonight who's never been to a meeting. And I like to think that they came to support me. I like to think that my message of bringing people together is so magnetic that they came to support me. I like to think that they want to record my remarks because they want to help share the unity and the message that we're talking about. But that is the height of naivete. They're here to divide. They're here to hold on to power. They're here to be disruptive. Because you have changed the trajectory of this city. It's no longer a discussion simply about what's in the interest of a few business owners. No longer a discussion about what's in the interest of a few political shot callers. No longer what's in the interest of millionaire community. This is what's in the interest of our community, everyday people. The trajectory has changed. And while a lot of people give me credit for that, I give everyday people credit for that. Now let me just talk some straight politics. Straight politics. Not a single Democrat on the city council. Most of our public offices are Republican dominated. You got a lot of people who pretend to be Democrats, but most of us Republican dominated. And again, I say my message, and I'm probably the most conservative person on the Democrat, bar none. You see, because conservatism says we can't have a city council. We can't have an airport board, an MWD, CSD, a fire authority board. We got enough governmental agencies to create alphabet soup. Really, so many acronyms. But remember, conservative values believe in small government until and unless they making their money off the government that they purport to serve. And I forgot to mention the community healthcare district, and I'm glad to see Nancy Sargent here, good Democrat that's running for the community healthcare district. Please give her a big round of applause. Raise your hands. Let's get over. Summon to Courage has a unique background, and I'm looking forward to helping you win. You know, the city council, the way it works here in Big Bear Lake, and we got to change the trajectory of that. And I take some responsibility for that, as well as some of the hits and some of the blames. See, you have a lot of people serving in office that never got a single vote. Not a one. But then they want to sit up as if they have some authority. They trick themselves and lie to you that the reason nobody ran is because they were so popular. Everybody embraced them. The reason nobody challenged them because they were doing such great things for the community. Randy Putz has never got a single vote that's been on the city council for 8 years. He has no moral authority. Mel Nick hasn't gotten a vote. She was appointed. Before that, she was appointed to the hospital board. She ultimately was elected. But by and large, people get here by appointment. Rick Herrick hasn't gotten a vote in 8 years. Something has changed in Big Bear community. For the first time in a long time, you have some real elections now. You got every council person has a candidate running against them, which means you have a choice. Which means they have to earn your vote. No more I'm elected by acclamation because the community loved me. You have a choice. You get to ask them, where do you stand on the oversaturation of vacation rentals? Why in the dickens are we funding the beautiful village that you drove through? $1.5 million is what they owe you. And I'm not talking about small businesses. I'm talking about Jack in the Box, Holiday Inn, that big vacation home. You can literally look up to see what we've given each and every one of those businesses. But they want to talk about student loan forgiveness. You can look up and see how you subsidize every one of those businesses. Something's wrong with that picture. That's not conservatism to me. That's corporate welfare where I come from. You got a whole bunch of people in this community that took advantage of the PPP loans. That's your money. But they telling you can't forgive student loans. Cool Cabins got $600,000 in a write-off, as did many others. Now help me figure out, how do they get these write-offs, and we that live here know that was the boomest, busiest time, but they got $600,000. I think Holloway Docks, Patty Hafen, who loves nothing but to try to antagonize me. Think she got almost $250,000. Look at the list of people in this community. They're not unknown names. But yet they want to call themselves conservatism. Where I come from, I call it bull manure. friend. But for the first time, people's ideals are going to be tested. And I want you to look at where they're getting their money from. They say, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. A lot of my critics say, well, Alan spent $50,000 on his campaign. And they keep changing the number, but Alan spent $50,000 on his campaign. Look! But what they don't tell you, most of that is my own money. Most of that is my own money. And then the money that was contributed to me came from people who do no business and have no interest and have no dealings with the city council. Those are just people like you that support me. People I've met around the country that want to help me. And I make no apology for it. Those are police officers and firefighters, nurses that gave me contributions. And I'm proud of every contribution I received. Now let's contrast that, if you will. Rick Herod got his money from Remax. Rick Herod got his money from Visit Big Bear Executives. Rick Herod got his money from the short-term rental industry, from Cool Cabins, and I'm talking thousands upon thousands of dollars. Some of the people on the council do their business right in the village. And then they give the village breaks. And understand me well. I'm very pro-business. I want to foster an environment that business can succeed. But you don't have to fail for them to succeed. We just got to take common sense to high places. Now, I don't talk about race very much, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit today. You know, some 27 years ago, 25 years ago, was the head, the leader in a city called Torrance. Now, if you know anything about Torrance, there's not a whole bunch of people that look like me in Torrance. And I was elected because of my views and my values. I have the ability to pull people together. It's too damn easy to divide people with divisiveness. Too damn easy to play politics. But I bring people together. I was the state director in Utah. And a whole bunch of people that look like Alan in Utah. I was the director in Colorado. Director in Nevada. You'll never know that. But let me tell you what sophisticated racism says. Did you know he was the director in Georgia? They play to that. Did you know he was the director in Tennessee? Did you know he was in Memphis and Atlanta? You damn right I was, and I'm proud of it because I represent workers, whether they black, white, or brown, whether they call themselves Republican or Democrat, because there's more that unites us than divides us. Somebody said to me as I walked out, well, you look good in your suit. I said, I couldn't come looking like the bully. I had to dress up and act like I wasn't a bully. There's subtle racism in that. It's the angry black man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if my wife wrote a letter to one of my colleagues and copied all of my colleagues and city staff that says that I must have been hurt as a child, that I'm angry and they're going to pray for me. Can you imagine if my wife had done that? The scandal we would have? Well, my colleagues' wives actually write me those types of letters. It almost goes back to the two previous first ladies. One of them can do a center spread with no problem. But can you imagine if Michelle Obama had did a center spread? What we'd be talking about? It's almost like Alan's not from Big Bear. None of the people on the council are from Big Bear. But let me be clear, I've lived here longer than Burnett Moe. That's just a fact. I lived here longer than Perry Melvin. That's just a fact. But they put in your head, I'm not from here. He's from Atlanta. He's from Georgia. He's not one of us. The subtleness in that message. And sometimes it's not so subtle. You know, a group of people always lift me up. And I always feel sustained in the city of Big Bear Lake. Not because of the naysayers or the fault finders, but because every day people contact me. You would be surprised. So many people, they come to Big Bear for the tranquility. They come for peace and comfort. They don't come to engage in politics. But you have awakened a sleeping giant with this bully nonsense. You see, I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to prove. I won in the most conservative district in this city. More conservative than any other district. Because my message was magnetic. Long before we started talking about that Measure O that you're wearing, Kimberly, I was talking about that. I had the courage to stand up to the powerful interest that says there's a such thing as oversaturation. And that begun a whole movement. And when I was knocking on my neighbor doors, they didn't give a damn whether I was a Republican or a Democrat. Because they had the same crap that I had in terms of the quality of life. They had the same problems that I had in enjoying their peace and tranquility. I brought people together. Now some people say, well, so you know the little summons, well, he gave away a coffee mug. I did have coffee or tea with Alan Lee. And I did have telephone town hall meetings trying to bring people together and talking about their issues. I did give away a little Care Bear because Alan cares. But they talked about insulting voters and, well, that's why they voted for him, because he gave them a nice cup. But you never heard nobody say anything about the tote, big bags that she gave out full of cookies. Nobody ever said nothing about that. There's some hypocrisy and duplicity in the message. There's some hypocrisy and duplicity in this room. Now let me just talk some politics now. San Bernardino County is a majority Democratic county. All of your at-large representatives are Republican. They focus on local elections. Your board of supervisors is a Republican that's in a majority Democratic district. But same deal, she got appointed, gave her a strategic advantage, and then she ran with the benefit of $250,000 from all the people that do business in San Bernardino County, calls themselves conservative, pays themselves in excess of $250,000. They've lost at every step of court, and now they're getting ready to have their salaries reduced. See, I'm real conservative. I don't believe you live off of government, off the taxpayers. I'm real conservative. I don't believe we need a city manager and then a DWP manager. Now, DWP is a department of the city, both making in excess of $200,000. I don't believe we need a chief financial officer of a city agency and a chief financial officer of a small city. The truth is, if you combine all of these agencies together, we would still be a tiny agency. That's your tax dollars that's funding all of these agencies. MWD has a general manager. DWP, a general manager. Airport board, a general manager. City manager, a general manager. If that was your money, and this was your business, as sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, I guarantee you would not spend it accordingly. And if you were real conservative talking about small, efficient, effective government, you would not allow it. Except if you're doing businesses, you get a check from all those agencies. Instead of one agency, if you're doing businesses, all those agencies are advertising on your sorry radio station that nobody listens to or nobody knows about. If you're doing business, and that's just some straight talk. And that's just some real talk. So I'm trying to change the trajectory. They can try and say Alan's a bully. You know, Rick Herod told me one time, he says, Alan, if you calm down, I'll have my people back up off. I'm like, yo, people? said, yeah, I have some of your people come here tonight. What's he talking about? He said, they're all going to be wearing red too. They act like red is not a partisan color. You know, red is supposed to be the Republicans, blue supposed to, so they adopt the color red. They show up at the meetings. It's sophisticated racism again. They don't say we're anti-Allen. They say, oh, we're here to support everybody else but Allen. It reminds me of people who says, I'm not against the integration of schools. I just believe in state rights. I believe a parent should decide. So we got some soul searching to do as a community. You'll likely find some of my remarks spliced and split on the internet because they're doing a good job of that. And some of these people, they don't know me. They don't get to know me. Some of these people think, oh, this is fun and games. I get to hide. He can't fight everybody. I can't fight everybody. But I gotta tell you guys this. This may very well become a national fight. We may very well put Big Bear on the lake, Big Bear Lake on a national map. And some of these so-called local shot callers, some of these people that's engaged in some very corrupt things, some of these people that's making money hand over fist, some of these people that's exploiting everyday Big Bear Lake, they may be surprised. Now some people hear that, people give me information all the time. Some people here are literally being sued by their neighbors right now. None of my neighbors are suing me. That's because hatred penetrates the heart. Some people are here tonight, they didn't come to hear a Democratic message. They didn't come to hear about DARE. They didn't come to hear about the Democratic visions and ideals versus the Republican visions and ideals. They came purely to see me. And I don't mean see me in a good way. But they can come back because I'm coming back. I've been here. And I've been to the Republican meetings. I've been to the Patriot meetings. And my messages are the same, and you can record them all there too. Some people may get themselves in trouble recording, but we'll let history dictate that. In the end, it is said, and I want all of you, and I got 3 acts, 3 simple acts. Last year, I had my first community unity event. About 200 people came, a little more than 200 people. We had a good time. See some familiar faces that were there. Some of you guys came to volunteer and help set it up. It's good neighbors, good food, good live music. Some of the people in this room took a community unity event. They literally came, they just circulated the event, talking negative to everybody there. Hatred is a powerful tool. But this year, I'm having my 2nd annual community unity event. And it's going to be even bigger. Mark your calendars, September 22nd, 5 p.m. from 5 to 7 p.m. And again, it's going to be free food, free drinks, and good neighbors. Every child that attends, just like last year, will get a token. And it's not about politics. Last year I had one and I did. This year I wasn't supposed to be on the ballot, and I've been planning to do it. Every year, I'm talking about bringing people together. Now let hate mongers divide. I'll let hate mongers talk about the things that are different in us. And I'm going to talk about the things that unite us. Also, people have said to me, Alan, what are you going to do about all those signs? That's so unfair. You got people spending. Where do you think they get the money from? The industry. And let me tell you, the realtors have opened up a PAC. So they want to scrutinize my PAC and tell you I'm getting money from somebody in Georgia. The realtors have opened up a PAC. It's called, I think, Safe Big Bear Lake or something like that. Put $7,000 in there. So your postcards are going to have to compete with some very powerful interests. But I tell you this, I'm reminded that signs don't vote. I remember, some of you guys remember, Big Bear Boulevard was lined with signs of my home. Every vacation rental operation, every realtor, the village, all was lined with my home. Signs don't vote. And my signs, and I wasn't even getting signs, probably won't get none of that shit, guys keep twisting my arms to get them, maybe I will. But my sign was in Jim and Sarah yard, real voters in District 1. My sign was in Lori and Gary yard, real voters in District 1. So please don't be discouraged by the signs. In fact, when they know I'm going somewhere, they try to line them up. Hate's a powerful tool. When it's a city council meeting, they get out there and literally line up the signs so that I can see them. Hate's a powerful tool. Because I ain't got that much damn energy to get out there and be putting in signs and pulling out signs. But let me tell you where you don't see some of the signs this time. You don't see them in some of those real estate businesses this time. Not as many. You know why? They learned their lesson. They recognize that you are now part of this community. And they can't just ride roughshod. Because politics have consequences. And I want them to be involved in politics. They should be involved in politics. But they should be involved in the interests of the community. So some of them are staying away from it. Now you got some that are throwing rocks and hiding their hands, and that's cool. And they certainly got some little leaders, little political groupies, I would say, that want to be important, doing their dirty work, and that's cool. But my support is not loud, but it's broad. I got deep support in Sugarloaf. I count many friends in Sugarloaf. My unity event will be packed with Sugarloaf people. From Fawn Skin to Bear City. There's a people hunger that's hungry for unity. And we got to be the change that we wish to see. And my last point is this, and I'm going to challenge you, for you to summon the courage to step up and speak up. Don't go along with the get along. I'm invited literally, well, I was halfway invited now, all the cocktail parties, but I didn't get involved in the cocktail parties. Invited to all the shindigs. I didn't get involved in the shindigs. I want to build a better, more effective, more caring, more loving, more unified Big Bear Valley and Big Bear community. And there's nothing wrong with our community that can't be fixed by what's right with our community. And if we simply stand up and say, a lot of people say, man, I saw the people at the city council meeting, realtors. Those were people with business interests. That is very true. I know them. Let me share something else with you to help make sure we get people on the ballot. I literally knocked on 28 doors in one day. 28 doors. And got people to sign a petition. I got cussed out once. 3 people didn't know who I was. And the other 24 were delighted to see me and knew exactly who I was. And I did not. I just cold turkey. It was about to be nobody in the race, another acclamation. And the guy says, I need help. I can't do it. I don't know the people. I said, well, I'll take care of it. 28 doors in one day. One person cussed me out. We had a good conversation after she cussed me out. And I said, what's wrong? She said, well, my boss said you're trying to get rid of all the cleaners, and I'm a cleaner. Oh, wow, I couldn't believe that. I have a life history of standing up for the least of me. As a local union president, as a state director, I bring people together. I believe that family values is making sure you have a good job. A job that pays you not under the table, but pays you disability, pays you unemployment, pays you retirement, pays you a decent wage. Nobody's ever accused me of being anti-worker, so that's ironic. So, in the final analysis, thank you, Steve, and thank you to the Democratic Club. You were not simply there on the landing. Many of you in this room were there on the takeoff. And I am forever grateful for the boost you gave me. And when you believed in me, because they said, he can't win, Joe Benotti is backing the other person. Herrick here, because we don't have a real mayor here. Because our mayor's not, when you're not elected by the people, you can't really be a mayor. But Mayor Herrick and 5 other mayors endorsed the other candidate. But you guys believe in me. You gave yourself permission to consider the possibility. And we have shut up this city so much, in this community so much, you have people actually running for office. You have a citizen initiative that have put a ballot initiative on the matter because the city council would not act. You have sophisticated people who have done everything they can to try to head me off at the path. But they so worried about me, they can't see the forest for the trees. You know, they call it the San Bernardino Democratic Party. They're real good. They got a few Democratic activists that's involved and own some rental homes and we got a call so they don't support it. That didn't work. And besides, I don't run as a Democrat. I don't run as a Republican. I don't run as an independent. I run as a man that is going to represent the views and values of his community. So they got a few people says, you know, show up at the council meeting and be rowdy. Send these emails. And you were still able, despite their strong opposition, to go out and put an initiative on ballot. And I want to thank you for your courage.